Good morning. Welcome to October 17th of Vlogtober. My name is Tracy and I am the host of the Comfy Red Couch. We have just woken up. It is almost 8 o'clock now, Greg? Yeah. And it is still very darkish outside. We are in Sault Ste. Marie and oh, the view outside this window of the hotel we're staying in is indescribable. We are overlooking the utility. Great, isn't it? Could be worse. It is pouring with rain today, which is going to make packing the car fun. But we will make it. We will make it. Good morning again. I found the view. I'm still at the hotel. We're going to rearrange the car a little better, hopefully. And we brought the dog out for a quick bathroom break out here. And when we opened the door, I went, oh, that's where the view is. So this is Sault Ste. Marie. We are on the Canadian side. And across the river over there, zooming in for you, is the American side. We of course cannot cross to the American side because our border is closed because of COVID, but hopefully in the next month or so people will be able to cross by land to the USA that maybe previously couldn't. Anyway, this is Sault Ste. Marie and this is the waterfront trail, and it looks like for now the weather is starting to clear a bit, which is nice for rearranging the car. I was thinking when it was pouring upstairs that it was going to be just miserable. Greg did say it was a bit chilly. I have my polar fleece and my rain jacket on. I'm going to rearrange and then we will be getting on our way today. Just on the waterfront trail, a little boardwalk here, and behind me is a little kiosk for beaver tails. And beaver tails are a Canadian specialty, and I've only had one once, so I'm not going to describe them very well. I'm sure that if you've had them, you'll say, no, Tracy, you're wrong. But I think it's sort of like a doughy substance. So it's not like a pancake, but it's also not quite like a funnel cake. Maybe it's in between, but it's sort of like it's a sweet treat. And they put little different toppings on it. So I know like cinnamon sugar might go on one, but yeah, it's just a nice treat available in Sault Ste. Marie. The other thing that I was noticing on the waterfront, and I'm looking for one now, is when I first came out, I saw a loon. I thought, is that a loon? And I believe it was. It dove under the water and then surfaced again, and I could just see a ring around the neck. So I saw one a few minutes ago and I tried to focus in on it, but then of course it dove under the water and then I saw it flying away. So I will keep an eye and hopefully I'll be able to show you a loon. I'm just repacking the car and trying to make sure that we can fit things in a little bit easier, so at the end of the night we're not having to move everything out to grab the things that we need. So I'm putting suitcases and of course my knitting box in the back seat, and my knitting box has other things, important documents, stuff that I want to be able to access easily. But so far I have moved things around a little bit. Got the nice view here. The wind has picked up a little bit more. I haven't seen the loon. I've been looking. I'm thinking that probably at this time it's a little bit rough. The loon may not come back, but c'est la vie. That sometimes happens. There is a loon sitting on the water. I'm trying to zoom in as much as I can. It's actually being pulled downstream because the current is so high, and I'm not sure whether you can see the bird bobbing in the water or not, but loons do go under the water to fish, and they can stay under for a really long time. So I'm hoping you can see the loon bobbing on the water. Otherwise, it's just a pretty view. Oh, you can see it just came up to sort of flap its wings for a moment. But it's a nice calming view. I hear trains in the background. So I don't know if you can see the loon. I've tried to zoom in as much as I can. And at some point, because it's a loon, it will go under the water for a little bit, and then we will never know where it will pop up again. One of life's mysteries. He's just enjoying a float down the stream right now. Good morning. We are in Sault Ste. Marie. What do you see across the river, Nathaniel?
The American flag.
He sees an American flag because across the river is the United States. And there are a couple of loons just on the water behind us, but I think they're too far away to see. I think the car is packed up much better than it was yesterday. Did you enjoy the drive yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, you enjoyed your rock running?
Yeah.
Yeah. And today we are going to go to Wawa, home of the big goose, the big Canadian goose, and we are on the way to Thunder Bay. You ready to go?
Yes.
Good morning. We are now in the car. We have repacked the car, so hopefully it's a little bit more ergonomically friendly. And I think, is everyone a little bit more comfortable than yesterday?
I could hardly get my seat into the belt.
That was yesterday, but today you're good,
oh,
right?
Oh, no, today.
Oh, well. You're not ergonomically comfortable. I am. I got to move my seat back a bit. We are about to start driving to Thunder Bay. I am hoping to have a little less footage from the car today, but that is very much dependent on whether the rain holds back or not. I am just about to pull out my knitting and work on that. I am using the Festive Fairy Tale Advent Kit from last year's Beehive Yarns, and this is the inspiration postcard. And I am now working on colors 2 and 3. Mini 1 is all knit in. Yarn 2, lots of crinkling happening, is this one here. And yarn 3 isn't too different, so I'm going to have to really be careful, is a little bit of a darker brown. But that doesn't want to focus. There we are. So that is what I'm going to work on now, and hopefully I'll get into Mini 4 before the day is out. Maybe even 5, that would be great. We have now entered moose territory. We've seen our first moose sign, and I'm hoping to see another one soon, but this is today's view. It's a lot more sunny. Still a bit of color on those trees, but this is absolutely beautiful through there. There was a moose sign we just passed. The clouds are floating in the valley over here, and you can see there's a lot of boggy area that the moose would absolutely love to tromp through. I think there's another moose sign just up ahead, and I'll zoom in so that you'll be able to quickly see it. But the deer sign, where they sort of look like they are jumping, having fun, the moose signs, they look like they're charging across the road. There it is there. The scenery along this section is so picturesque and very, very beautiful. At the top of the hill, just over here, is actually a jack pine. The top, there's a little bit of green, hard to see now because it's behind the trees, but just such a picturesque drive this morning. We are just coming around a bend. I see some water in the distance. I'm thinking it is Lake Superior. Just on the other side of the trees. It's a really beautiful drive this morning, and the colors are gorgeous. The rolling hills are very pretty. This is probably the most difficult leg of our entire journey, but it is definitely a very beautiful one. And I hope you're enjoying riding along with us right now. A little bit back, we were in a little section where about every few hundred meters there was a moose sign. So I'm thinking that was a very high moose crossing area, and that they had to put up so many alerts. But look at this gorgeous, gorgeous landscape here. It is a bit gray. We're probably going to get some more rain today. But hopefully we are hoping to stop in Wawa and go outside for a little bit. In the meantime, here is Lake Superior. Through this section there are lots of sugar maples, or we've just gone through a section that have a lot of sugar maples. And it is very, very colorful in here because those are the trees that really show their beauty in autumn in Canada, especially in Ontario and Quebec. We will be following Superior most of the day. That is the lake that is on our right. Left. I'm very bad at left and right. Greg and I should never go on the Amazing Race together because I'll tell him to turn right when we need to turn left, and I'll tell him to turn left when we need to turn right. Isn't that correct, Greg? So we're on the Trans-Canada Highway, heading west. We have just pulled off at a scenic lookout on Lake Superior, and it is absolutely gorgeous here. I wonder if that's all my stuff from the moving truck. Anyway, it is beautiful here. Lake Superior as far as you can see, and the sunshine is bouncing off the lake. We've stopped to let the dog have a quick bathroom break as well, to stretch our legs and just enjoy a few moments of beauty. Lake Superior is huge, and it is so cold. I'm not sure if there's even a warm spot in the lake, but it is definitely a beautiful drive today. I said to Greg, you know, I wish there's so many places that, you know, I don't want to keep pulling out my camera to share the drive. And he said, if people want 6 hours of footage, they can drive it themselves. So we'll just try and show you little bits today. You can see where this big cloud of rain is coming down. We went through a really crazy bit of rain earlier. And I don't know if you can see up on the hilltop up there, there are windmills, but definitely a beautiful spot, and I'm really glad that this was here so I could share it with you. As cars zoom by on the Trans-Canada Highway, I could hear rushing water when I was walking back from the scenic view, and here's a little tiny waterfall here. What do you think of Lake Superior so far, Nathaniel?
Interesting.
Is it interesting?
Yes.
Yeah, try not to get too wet, little one.
I won't.
Even the driveway of this scenic lookout is really beautiful. Scout is enjoying having a few minutes to walk, Scout is enjoying a bubbly or a bubbly. And yeah, there's a little waterfall here. And then this gorgeous, gorgeous view.
You can see the rain.
You can. It's really neat, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the little spots where it's raining across here, and then there's little spots that are
Darker.
blinding from the sun hitting the water. But awe-inspiring is really what it is. It's absolutely awe-inspiring. One thing I'm noticing as we continue our drive along is that any deciduous trees, those are trees that had leaves, really don't have a lot of leaves anymore. It's mainly the coniferous ones, the green, the evergreens, and fall is most definitely in northwestern Ontario. This landscape really reminds me a lot of Algonquin Park. A lot more than our drive yesterday did. And we are in moose territory, so very similar landscapes. We are currently in Wawa, which is the home of the big Canadian goose, which is just over my shoulder. It's kind of hard to actually capture me and the goose because it is up high. But we are stopped here for a few minutes so you can see the big Canadian goose. And if I turn around, you have a beautiful view behind you as well. So trees as far as the eye can see. I'm sure there's a moose or two in there too, and probably some black bears as well. I think I know why it's called Wawa, and it's because I was dying to go to the bathroom, and we came to the center here and it was closed. Wah, wah, wah. That's how I was feeling, at least. Very few leaves are left on the trees. Look at this beautiful birch tree behind me. And it is just starting to lose its last leaves as well. Won't be long. Greg is starting to look a little bit uncomfortable, so I have pulled out the rolly ball. And it is rolly ball time! Does that make you happy, Greg? Yes. It doesn't take much. It is a beautiful drive today. It is sunny, much nicer than yesterday. This morning when I woke up and there was rain out the window, I was a little bit nervous, but it has, for the most part, been really, really beautiful. And the drive north continues on and on and on. But it is pretty, which is nice. And I'm getting some knitting done. Greg's getting a nice little rolly ball back. Nathaniel is playing on Minecraft. He had a little sleep earlier. I don't sleep well in the car, so I don't know whether I will sleep. It's possible. But for now, a little bit of rolly ball, and I'll let you see some scenery. Not a lot of leaves on the trees. Lots of rocks. Not a lot of traffic. Much nicer drive than the 401, but you definitely need to be careful as you drive along this way. Okay, it's time for Tracy to pull her weight. She gets to drive from, where are we, White River? Oh, Manitouage to Marathon. This is the only time I'm going to be doing a marathon. So, behind the wheel, ready to start driving. Seatbelt about to go on. We are at another scenic lookout. I needed to get off the road. I had a big truck that was pushing me from the rear, making me a bit nervous. And when I saw the scenic lookout, I thought, that's kind of where I want to pull off right now. So that, of course, did not come without its worries, but this view is definitely worth it. You can see the rail lines just going down around the hill, and of course Lake Superior behind us. And then if I turn over here, the highway continues along there, and certainly there are very, very big trucks. I'm not a porta potty kind of girl, but there's a porta potty over here, and I think I may just have to use it. There's not a lot of stuff on this road. Time to fill the car up with some gas in Terrace Bay. Plus, I'm going to use the facilities here. I was too much of a princess to use the little blue box. Anyway, $1.61.9 for a liter of gas. For some people that may sound very expensive, and for others that will be actually quite reasonable. And just across from us there is Lake Superior and lots of wind. I would definitely not want to be touching my toes to that lake today, even though it is beautiful and sunny. We stopped to grab something to eat, just some sandwiches on the road at the gas station. Is that good, Nathaniel?
Yes.
Greg is washing the windshield of the car because I think there were some bugs that went splat, and I am doing some secret knitting right now. We are still in Terrace Bay. We've got about 3 more hours to get to Thunder Bay, and then we get to tuck in for the night, and that'll be nice. This is absolutely beautiful. We are just driving along the top of Lake Superior. Hills, trees, nature at its best. And of course water. Who can forget water? We are just about to round the corner and see beautiful Lake Superior again. To our left. I got it right this time, Greg. Left, not right. The birch trees are simply beautiful along this section here. This is really quite spectacular to view. These sheer cliffs and the birch trees and evergreens just hanging on the edges of them. It is amazing and just so gorgeous with that blue sky behind. What a landscape in northern Ontario. We are now in Nipigon, and again the terrain has changed again, and the look of the trees. Ontario really is quite an amazing place with so many different landscapes, and if you ever have a chance to visit, if you haven't visited before, I would highly recommend it. We are just at the Terry Fox Memorial, and we're walking towards it. We're just getting Scout out of the car so that she can have a little bit of a walk as well. We're very close to Thunder Bay, which will be nice because we'll be able to rest for the evening, but we've arrived, I think, at a really great time. There's not many people here. The sun is still up, and it's been a glorious day. So Terry Fox was a young man who ran the Marathon of Hope, and he started off on the east coast of Canada in Newfoundland, and every day he ran a marathon. And just before Thunder Bay, we did pass the marker. He unfortunately had to stop, and his cancer had gotten too bad, and every day he was running to raise funds for cancer research. So this is the memorial that has been put up in Thunder Bay for him. Here is the Terry Fox Memorial, and it is a statue that was erected by the province of Ontario to celebrate the life of Terry Fox and his dream to raise money for cancer research. Dreams are made if people only try. I believe in miracles. I have to, because somewhere the hurting must stop. Terrence Stanley Fox, July 28, 1958 to June 28, 1981. Terry Fox inspired this nation with his dream, his marathon of hope, a cross-Canada run to raise money for cancer research. This courageous young man from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, I'm going to need to learn to say that, knew only too well the ravages of cancer because at 18 he had lost his right leg to the disease, and etched in his mind was the pain and suffering on the faces of other cancer victims. Determined not to leave this world of miracles before a cure had been found, he planned his 5,300-mile marathon. After dipping his foot in the Atlantic, he began his epic in St. John's, Newfoundland on April 12, 1980. Running 26 miles a day, this outstanding young athlete had conquered 5 provinces by the time he had reached Ontario in June. Then, at mile number 3,339, near this very site, recurring cancer forced him to give up his run. It feels good to give, he told the people of Ontario, who responded wholeheartedly to his courage and his dream. And through his perseverance in the face of overwhelming odds, he inspired an outpouring of immense national pride and a flood of $24 million for cancer research. To the people of Ontario, Terry gave us pride in having known him and briefly sharing his dream. To every Canadian, he left us his challenge, a challenge each of us will meet on our own way. The memorial overlooks the beautiful Lake Superior, and over here, right in front of me, this is the Sleeping Giant, and the Sleeping Giant is a landform, and at the top, that's on my left. I don't know if that's your right or my left. We've already determined that I have issues with rights and left, but my left from being behind the camera, the head is to the far east and the feet are to the west. And there is the Sleeping Giant. And then if we just skim across, Thunder Bay is over this way. And that's where we will be heading to stay tonight. The moon is starting to rise over in the east, just a little to the east of the Sleeping Giant, which is, there's the Sleeping Giant, and the moon is rising over here. Here is a little kiosk for the Lake Superior Circle Tour, and today we started in Sault Ste. Marie, and we have driven through Terrace Bay, up through Nipigon, and we are now at Thunder Bay. We will continue on this way rather than going south down to the USA though. As we were driving up to the memorial, I noticed that there were a couple of deer off to the side of the road, so we will see if we might be able to spot a couple of deer. There they are, right up on, just go forward a bit more, and there is a deer just up on the hill, blending in. Nathaniel, do you see it? Right out.
Yep, I see
There's
that.
one, and then there's another one just right there, showing you his rear end. How rude. How rude
But then it
indeed.
is foraging for grass.
It is foraging for grass, but how rude. A much better view than when I started off this morning. So at least we get to see outside and some lights, although I will be closing the drapes because I do like it to be dark, so blackout curtains are very, very helpful. We have had a long day driving from Sault Ste. Marie to Thunder Bay, but it was filled with many wonderful sights. Tomorrow we will be driving from Thunder Bay to Winnipeg, and we are excited to share what we get up to then as well. Nathaniel, what was your favorite part of today?
At the beginning of the car ride, like just before the car ride.
Okay, so in the parking lot and overlooking Sault Ste. Marie, that was a lot of fun. Greg, your favorite part?
I like to visit the Terry Fox Memorial.
Yeah, the Terry Fox Memorial was really quite special, so I hope that you enjoy our footage of that. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining us, and have a great evening or day or whatever time it is for you. Bye.